All right, good morning. Okay, we are pretty good in the process of creating the Polkadot Treasury report. Yesterday I finished the balance sheet. I'm gonna give you a tour a little bit. Today we're gonna be doing two things. One thing is boring, the other thing is fairly interesting to me, typically. So the boring stuff is categorizing the child bounties. I gathered some experience last time, so maybe this time this is gonna be fairly fast. And then the other thing is looking at the pivot tables. And this is typically the most fun for me in terms of exploring of what is actually going on. So where are we in the process? We figured out sort of the income statement. I skipped yesterday and did a little bit of the balance sheet, but we're gonna go back to the process. But let's check what we did. So yesterday we finished the balance sheet, and I did some part of that on the live stream, but then a part of that I did off stream because it was easier to just coordinate with people and chat with them, and that is not something that I can share. But I figured out all the hydration questions. So basically Subscan currently had an error in showing stuff, and I figured out how to check the chain state online. And this is maybe one thing that I actually do want to show, because this is something that you sort of need to be shown to be able to do. So maybe this can be a useful thing I can share with you right now. So the mistake I made yesterday, I was under the assumption that for nothing you do on Polkadot.js, you need to have your wallet connected, but this was a mistake. There is some instances where you need to have your wallet connected. And I'm just gonna unlock it right now. And so it should be connected right now. Okay, so there is situations where you needed to change the chain state. So this is a little bit of a lesson of how do I check the chain state of a certain account at a certain point in time. So we want to have this account here, but not with the values we have right now in terms of how much USDC, USDT there is, but actually how much USDC, USDT there was in the past. So what I do is I copy the address, I go to Polkadot.js, I have my wallet connected, and then I go to, I think it was, yeah, I forgot which palette it was, but we're gonna figure this out very quickly. Whoops. Yeah, so I'm asking for this account. Is this correct? Yeah. So this is me asking, give me the tokens on this account with this address right now, and it gives you token ID 5, which is dot, token ID 22, token ID 10, token ID 1001. So how do you know? And then how much free, how much reserved, and how much frozen. Okay, how do you figure out which token ID is which token? So you typically would look for a palette that's called asset registry or token registry or something, or X tokens. And then you have assets. And then there is this include option part, which typically allows you to ask more specific questions. But if you turn it off, you basically can get everything. So you get all the you get the full data set on that state right now, and you see that the token IDs are fairly high. So they choose like 1 million as the starting account for like user created tokens. But then if you're looking for example, 1001, you find that it is A dot. If you look for 5, so now the problem is if you just look for 5, there's like lots of results. But what you can do is, for example, search for dot, and then you get like a little bit less results. So you get V dot, and then we get dot, like Polkadot, and then the dot token, and it's ID 5. And we can do the same if we search for 22, and we have an assumption that it's USDC. We can just search for USDC. Okay, we have Moonbeam USDC. We have Ethereum native USDC, interesting. And then we have Akala USDC. We have AUSDC, okay, so this, and then we have USDC, so it's 22. And then the other one is USDT that we're looking for. And we find, okay, Ethereum native USDT, Moonbeam USDT, and then 10 USDT, right? So this is our native, this asset hub USDT, right? So this is how we find the asset IDs, and we know which assets we're looking at. And now when we go to tokens, and we go to accounts, and we put in the address that we copied. So we get the current state of dot of whatever, USDC, USDT, and A dot. Okay, now we want to go back in time, and so we include the option, and now we want to find the block hash. So you do this by just sort of triangulating. So this is the best method I know, maybe there is a better one, but basically just like trying to do a binary search and basically say, okay, let's see what this block was. Okay, this was in February, and we're looking for March, right? So then you're gonna try out like different blocks, and okay, this is a little bit too far. So maybe I'm gonna target this one. This is the 1st of April, very good. So basically, I guess if we go like this, then we're gonna be somewhere at the 31st of April, and then you can triangulate it even better, but I'm gonna take this one for now. So you find the block number, and then there is a hash, and the hash is what actually counts, because there could be different blocks at the same height if there is a fork, but the block hash is always unique. So this is the block hash you put in here, and then here you give the token ID. So you cannot ask for all of them at once, but what you can do is you can ask for token ID 5, and then you get the amount of dot, and then 22, and you get USDC, and so on. You get A dot, and then you get USDT, right? So then you take those values, you apply the proper decimals. So for USDT, USDC, it's 6 decimals, and for dot, it's 10 decimals. You take those values and you enter them here. This is what we did, and so we have the balances on that account on that day, right? That's the one thing I did. The other thing I did is for the ambassador program. I reached out to the ambassador program, asked them for the spends. They sent me a preliminary report. This is the best we have, since this is sort of off-chain managed, but part of the Treasury, or not off-chain managed, but on-chain managed, but the social process is off-chain. So, and then everything else is the same. No, there's one thing missing. There's one thing missing, the Omnipool. Okay, so we have like one more thing that we can look at that point in time, which is how much dot is there in the Omnipool. And that I think is really hard to reverse engineer, but there is a current value. You know, let's figure out what kind of account this is. 3TM, not sure. Let's check it out in Subscan. And then we're actually done with the balance sheet once we have this last value. Yeah, so you see there is it's 11,000 dot here, but what is this? This is the So we can maybe approximate it by just like taking the interval between so let's do this. Okay, so if you don't have a better method, what you can also do, you see it's not an exact science. What you can also do is you can take the 2024 Treasury report. Okay, and then the number we had here is 1,008,000. Okay, so it's gonna be a bad approximation because obviously there has been more traffic going on recently, but whatever. You can do it better. 1,008,697, 8,697, 8,697. So 1,008,697. Okay, and then what we have today, is this amount. Yeah, and so what we do know is that between those is exactly 4 months, because it's the end of April right now. So we can say the difference, like we need to have 3/4 of the difference. This is like a rough interpolation. So we can say this minus this, and this is not yet formatting as a number. So let's do that. And then we say times 3/4, and this is like how much the treasury has gained in that point in time, and then we add the original value, and this is the rough approximation we are having. So this is the value I'm going to enter here, and I stand by this. Format number dot. Okay. Good. So this is the balance sheet. This is the balance sheet that we have. I also added the claims payable. And how did I do that? So recently we introduced this new screen. This was part of, I think, stream number 3, where we basically checked out all the treasury spends. And then, so this is all the individual spends from the treasury that might be payable in the future. We take the ones, then we determine are they already claimable or not, or will they be claimable in the future. And from this you can be calculating how much outstanding claims are there for the future. And then, so we did the same, so we are doing this in the live monitoring. So there's a live monitoring that updates hourly. And then we did a version of that. I did that off stream where I just look at the outstanding claims. And so basically I delete all the data that was coming in after the 31st of March, deleted all the information that was coming in. So we are taking basically a snapshot of that day, and we treat this as the outstanding claims. And then we add this as the balance date as liabilities. So this is non-current liabilities. And it's a little bit of current liabilities also, claims payable. Wait. Maybe, actually we can be a little bit more precise and have like claims payable. Yeah, we could actually have this as, okay, so let's do that because it's not too bad of a thing. Okay, so we can have sort of one, 2, 3, and claims payable, but the formatting is a little bit off. Okay, and so we take the values here, which is USDC and USDT. So there is USDC, USDT, okay, and this is 234,916 USDC, and then we have 128,330 USDT. We are gonna quickly format this format number USDT, and now we need to subtract it here because initially I was like having it here, so there was sort of we're gonna just do it like this now. USDC. Oops. Plus, minus, USDT. Okay. Now we need to make sure that this is properly adding everything together. So this is a sum of everything that is here. And this is a sum of everything that is here. And this is a sum of everything that is here. This is a sum of everything that is here. And this is a sum of those two values. All right. And this is a sum of the surplus. All right, and then the total treasury balance. Okay, and this is an addition of those two. Okay, that checks out. That checks out. Good. Okay, we have a finished balance sheet with current liabilities and non-current liabilities. Cute. Very good. Lovely. The commitments. This was a side calculation. I'm not sure if I want to update this. Fellowship spending. Fellowship salaries. Oh, why not? It's actually very interesting. And we don't need to change a lot here. Okay. Okay, so this is the balance sheet. We can also do the balance sheet graphics I see here. So let's check this. So first of all, we need to check if the raw data is correct. And so what it is looking at, okay, what is this chart table looking at? Okay, so this is basically, I would say this is the assets, right? So this is the assets. Now we need to look at, are we looking at the correct categories? And it's looking at B4 until K58, but that is not correct. Because we changed the table just now. Okay, so what we do want to have, let's look at the filter. The ticker is yeah, I see. Okay. Actually, we want to have it run until here and just look at the assets, I suppose. Yeah, it's the asset treasury portfolio. So we want to have it run until like 38. What's going on here? Yeah, now the values make sense. Now the values make sense. 30 million. This does not make sense. Where is the issue coming from? Are we building the sums here correctly? This is the sum of total assets. Total assets is a sum of total current assets. What are non-current assets? What are non-current assets? Okay, and then we're adding together those categories. Loans receivable is correctly building a sum. It's correctly building a sum. Here we have a mistake. Here it's correct. This is correct and this is correct. Okay, so now we should have the correct value. 30 million. Good. This looks good. By the way, I want to check if my checklist is doing fine. So, get accounts from previous report, determine current assets position, bounty balances. if sums are correct. Then we're doing the charts. Okay, so this is now working correctly, and we see that the error also, that the same filter also propagates. So we want to have assets by chain, but we want to filter until 38. And now the values match. I'm not sure if we have the same here. Yeah, we just need to check if maybe the rows changed. But we can also build a total here. And the totals match. This is good. Okay. Good. So we have asset portfolio. We have Polkadot Treasury assets by chain. We have Polkadot Treasury assets by category. Yeah, looks good. We're gonna change the dates here. 5/03/31. Copy. Good. All right. Okay, so we have updated graphics. What do we have here? And this is by chain. Is it different from this one? I guess it's an old graphic. Okay, this was hard to code. Good. All right. Okay, so this is done. We have our charts, and we can go back to the income statement. So we did referenda spends, but it doesn't say child bounties, right? Yeah. So referenda. Okay, we did assign spending categories and subcategories. We identified recurring versus one-off spends, yeah. Well, I think so, and yeah, I think I would have caught that. Okay, now we will categorize child bounties, and if something changes, we'll take some notes. But I suppose not this time. Okay, so child bounties. Now, for child bounties, we have a system where we know these are all the valid bounties. So first thing I actually want to check is if there is any new bounties, and I think there was new bounties coming in. Just not sure if it was this quarter, last quarter. And what we do have here is we update the remaining dot. Do we need this for something? I think we actually, do we not have this in the balance sheet? Yeah, we have this on the balance sheet. We have this on this is another thing that I missed. Okay, I think this is the last. Okay, last thing I missed. Bounties. How much money is there in the bounties? So yeah, this is a little bit monotonous, but typically done in 5 minutes. But first of all, we want to check, is there new bounties that we have? So we visit Subsquare, and we're going to check out bounties. Oh, did I group tabs? Interesting. So bounties, we have 52, and then the next one is 59. There is no filter. So what happened between 52 and 59? Maybe not active anymore. Okay, then we have Polkadot legal bounties, 62. And this became active in March. Good. So, okay, so what we do is Polkadot legal bounty, 62. Polkadot legal bounty. So this is category. Okay, and what kind of bounty is this? I would say this is an operations bounty or business development. I would say it's business development. And then some kind of category that's called legal. Legal. No. Do we have... I believe we have a subcategory that's called legal. 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 Yeah, there is a subcategory called legal. So bounties. We're adding something that's called legal. Legal. Apply to all. Legal. Okay. Okay, this is 62 legal. So what's next? 63 fast grants. Let's see if it became active. I think this just became active. Yeah, afterwards. So it's not going to be part of this. So this was fast grants. Okay, then let's check the OG Rust bounty. Yeah, this became active in time. So this is 64. Okay, I'm just gonna take a note of 63 so that I don't forget it next time. And then 64, and it's OG Rust bounty. And OG Rust bounty is, I would say this is a development bounty. And then the subcategory is not really clear to me. So I have to check out the bounty. Propose. Rust. Propose curators for OG Rust bounty. OG Rust bounties. Incentivize Rust engineers to carry developer tasks. Should relate to the Polkadot relay chain or any of its system chains. Okay, so this is very clearly Polkadot as protocol and SDK. Very good. We are happy. Okay. 64 OG Rust bounties. And then we have 60 easy proposed bounties, but this has not been, this is just in the proposed stage. And this is also proposed, this is also proposed. Okay, so done for now. But it shows that there might be like gaps that become active, but 50 and 44, 50 and 44. Okay, so next thing we do is we open a tab for each of them. I hope this is not gonna crash my browser now. Yeah, when I remove the link here, these bounties that basically have become inactive, and it's a note to myself that I don't need to click the link. Hello? Browser said doesn't want to open links anymore. Okay. Beyond here, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna move the window here. Yeah, I knew it. By the way, the first part of my new computer arriving. So, anti-scam bounty. This one just didn't get renewed. But the question is, what was the status of the bounty at a certain point in time that already has passed? This is actually bad. So let's see when the last child bounties were paid out. Do they have a date assigned? Core team March. This may be not the best opportunity, so I will quickly look, see if I can look this up in Polkadot.js, because this might be actually the faster way than like going back a month. Yeah, there is no way around. You need to do this on the day of the balance sheet. You need to do it on the day, else you just spend much more time. So let's see if I can find bounties. Bounties. Check. Yes, value. Bond. But is this the original value or is this the current? Okay, let's check it out. We will check one of the currently active bounties because they have like moving amounts. Marketing bounty is definitely gonna have further free. So this is a way too round number, I believe. So let's check this out. So we're looking for them to have 448,000. 448,000. So bounties, that's not it. Yeah, because it sits in a certain account. Sits in a certain account. And the curator, is this like the one account where the money sits? Curator. Ah, that's not it. That is not it. Okay, so we can check for a child bounty. Okay, it's a little bit convoluted, but this works. We check for a child bounty. We check for the recipient. We check for the payment when it actually moved. Yeah, so there is a payout. And then we know that the money is moving from one account to another account. Withdraw, deposit. So we know it's moving away from this account. And this account, maybe I should play this game. Okay, I should play this game with the marketing bounty. Because then we can know if it's the 448,000. So, paying, timeline, payout. Treasury bounty, and then it's like different letters. It's like quite a few events. Is it multiple beneficiaries? No. What is this? This is a payout of 7,000 dot, but it's split up among recipients. Treasury CP it 10,000. Going to airlift. Is it the right child bounty? And there's different child bounties being paid out at the same time, maybe. Yeah. Okay, but it's passing through this one account and then it's paid out here. So $448,000. Okay, now this treasury bounty, do we maybe have? I would like to have a list of all those bounty accounts. Bounties. Hey. How do we get the address of all treasury bounty accounts? Okay, this is a challenge. I think this is the first time that I have to do this retroactively. And that's not a nice thing, I figured. You know, I want to try out if like ChatGPT 03 is smart enough to figure this out. I want to figure out the on-chain addresses of the Polkadot OpenGov bounty accounts. Okay, let's see, because so recently I've been like working a lot with 03, and 03 is significantly smarter than 4.0, and so I try to find new challenges for it all the time, and this might be an interesting one. So I know that the programmatic path is to write some JavaScript or so in so wait, before we move away here, let's just make sure. Where is it? So there's the marketing bounty. I just want to make sure we don't miss that there is an address. Maybe it's this one. Maybe I just missed it. Yep. That's it. Okay, we actually have the addresses. So ChatGPT, do you give me a meaningful result? Okay, still checking. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm opening up all the links that we have here, and we're noting down the addresses for all those bounties. Then we're gonna check the on-chain state of the point in time of the 31st of March, and this is how we're getting the balance. And I think the next thing I'm gonna learn is to properly build a little bit of I don't know, Polkadot chess or Puppy, so that that I can that I have a better ability to. Did I just lose all the tabs? No, it's the tabs are here. Are the tabs here? There are 2 tabs that are here. Okay, I'm trying one more time. And if it crashes again, then we're gonna do something more defensive. But learning a little bit of Puppy would not be bad. Okay, you know, let's leave it at this and let's take these ones first. So we're gonna add the address. And actually this window was intended to cover all of this. Okay, so okay, address. So we're getting to 10 metadata, copy. In the past I wanted to automate everything, but then one of my bosses taught me that sometimes you just need to suffer through and do like boring manual work if it is just faster. So yeah, I'm always trying to find the right mix between doing manual work. It's not the perfect live stream material. But that's how life is. Life is not the perfect live stream material. Maybe I should stop doing these live streams because they're really signaling to YouTube that the content is not interesting. And I should actually check if I do one. Yeah, maybe I should stop doing those live streams if they're not like the most interesting stuff in the world. Metadata. But it's running now, and I guess it's good training material for the AI. So we're gonna finish this series like we started it. And then for the future, we're gonna maybe change the mode. It'd be really good if there's an AI coming out that can scrape through tons of video material. 36, are we at 36? Yeah. And just make sense of it. Because if you're an AI and you're watching this, I congratulate you to have that superpower. If you're a human watching this, good to have you. Games Bounty, BT Bounty, 39, and then business development in Spain and Andorra. Yeah, they closed actually. They closed actually. They are at 0 for quite some time. Good. Okay. I'm gonna open this tab again, move this here over here. And we're gonna open up the remaining. I think this is not a real link, this is just colored. This link colored. Yeah. Okay, Spanish bounty V2. 42. Meetups bounty. 43. Security bounty. 44. Technical support bounty. 49. And then we have 50 infrastructure builders program. And we have 62 Polkadot legal bounty. And we have, hey, there's a viewer new coming in. So I'm just scraping through all the bounties and figuring out the addresses that are coming in, so we can check what the balance of those bounties is. So I still want to figure out 59 and 52. Hey, if you have a question, feel free to ask it. So open source developer grants. Open source developer grants. Bang. And this is a link. And then we have the UX bounty, and that's it. Then we're done with this part. And then we figure out how much money they have. Metadata. All right. Okay. Now I want to learn how much money they have. So what about your ChatGPT? Okay, so I asked ChatGPT to figure out the on-chain addresses. This is actually interesting. Is earmarked inside the Treasury palette. When the referendum that creates a... How does it know all of this? I'm telling you, like, new ChatGPT, like, for O3 is really good. Every bounty is earmarked inside the Treasury palette when the referendum that creates or tops up a bounty passes the runtime calls palette ID into sub-account bounty index. This turns the constant palette ID into a sub-account whose seed is the bounty's numeric index. The helper lives in the trade account ID conversion and ultimately hashes palette ID scale code index. Nice. Because the recipe is deterministic, anyone can recreate the address offline and be certain it is right. Governance subsquare. Governance treasury bounties, choose bounty, metadata. Okay, that's what we just did. That's really good. deriving the address yourself. Okay, subxt. It is in Rust and is in TypeScript with Polkadot API. So this puppy, interesting. Interesting. Maybe we should actually go a little bit into this, and we should like learn how to do this programmatically, because this would be more interesting than suffering through this in code, in like manually. Okay, I want to fire up a new project and sort of try this out, because I've never tried out puppy actually. Puppy.how. Okay, let's go the puppy route with Polkadot API and start with a fresh project. Okay, so I'm gonna create a I think I'm gonna create a new folder for this. And we're just gonna call this, I don't know, OpenGov scraper. Okay. Yes. Okay, give me chat. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT says, how we can set this up. Okay. I've set up a few npm projects in the past, but sort of I still have not remembered how to set up the skeleton code to launch a completely new project in npm. But I guess it starts with setting up TypeScript. Okay, while it figures that out, let me finish it. Ready-made addresses for the first parent bounties. Computed with the Python routine above. Wait, it actually... Wow, ChatGPT is so good. Just like computed this. But the bounty index is wrong. This does not exist, this does not exist, this does not exist. UX, yeah. But this is a little bit hallucinating. It's a little bit hallucinating, but it's like also very exact. It's a very interesting combination of hallucination and like having precise information. Okay. So let's see if this works. npm should be fine. Yep. Okay. npm e. Good. No. Wrong order of things. Now I get why I keep mistyping this. Okay, while this deploys, maybe I should start scraping manually. Not sure how fast this is gonna run. So it loads. What metadata does load for? Like, Polkadot metadata. It's very good, like index address, and then it gets even the balance. Nice. I need the balance of each bounty on the 2025 first end of day. Pretty good. It's gonna be faster than if I would have created manually. Okay, we got the metadata, and let's check, because it predicted that with like source rounds.ts. Is this true? It's not true. Saved new spec, puppy metadata.scale. Puppy metadata.scale. Okay, so wow, okay, it got the metadata. And now we want to write a program. Okay, let's start with this, and we're gonna figure out the exact details later. Run it. Okay. Unable to correct problems. TS in, no. You have held broken packages. I don't care. Fix it for me, please. I think I did not copy that. Yes. Subscan API. Subscan API. Yeah, but I don't have Subscan Pro. Okay, it gives us a script. Let's check it out. Polkadot Treasury. Give us a certain date. It doesn't need to be Vienna time, my friend, but okay. UTC Unix. Okay, getting the block hash. installed globally. I don't care. I'm gonna throw away the system anyway soon. Okay, let's see. TS node not found. But the previous one installed. Up to date. Odd. This is odd. Okay, I think I'm gonna end the stream soon. Or we get something more interesting. Going. Okay, let me copy the script that it created here. And npmi day.js, okay, as a helper. It's running. Unable to compile TypeScript. Okay, I'm gonna give those to ChatGPT, but yeah, not sure how good ChatGPT really is with this new, like, still fairly new, so yeah. Maybe in the meantime, I'm just gonna grab it on chain. And I think here it's system balances, system account. And we're just gonna try this out with the first address. Bang. Free, yeah. Okay, and now what we need is we need to find out the block hash at that point in time. No. Anyways, let's just run it, see if it does something, or if it's the same error. Different errors, less errors. It's also an interesting way of vibe coding, like asking ChatGPT every time. But Over is really strong. Okay, I want to find the block hash of some block on some block. This is hydration. We want to have Polkadot. Polkadot, and let's say, I don't know, March. Whoops. Okay, that's too much. That's also too much. That's still a lot. Okay, that's too much. Getting closer. Good. I think we're landing somewhere here. Yeah, good enough. Let's take this as a block hash. So this is the block hash we will compare against. This is actually running. Wow. This was free shot. But it is giving 0 balances. Okay. Yeah, by now I'm really curious to see who is gonna be faster. Is it gonna be the human who just manually checks it? Or is it gonna be the AI? Copy, paste. This is my output, but the bounties don't have 0 balance. Not even gonna give it hints. It needs to figure this out by itself. Okay. Meanwhile, we have our hash. So we're gonna figure out the free balance of, and this is the Polkadot Pioneers bounty. Let's just check if this matches before we continue this. 768,000. Okay, this looks good. So I'm gonna add a column here. How do I do this? Yeah. And then we just keep grinding through this like this. And one more chance for ChatGPT. Nope. Sorry, my friend. Okay. So, yeah, it seems I'm still faster than ChatGPT with my boring attempt of just manually fetching all the data. Or I'm gonna give it one more chance and it finishes at the same time with me. And we will have to do a visual confirmation later just to make sure I'm not doing a mistake while I do this. Okay, what's your take? The script itself is fine. The all zeros are coming from the node you're connected to. I don't think so. Is a non-archive full node. Oh, okay, this is actually possible. This is like, this is really good advice. This is scarily good. So what ChatGPT is saying, it's querying the data, but from an endpoint that doesn't keep the history, and so it wants me to pick a different RPC to get the history from, which would be this code here. This is really good. Okay, curious to see what's going on here. And also, why is it just like taking 7? Ooh, abnormal closure. Disconnected. Sorry, ChatGPT. This was a really good attempt, but something my friend did not check out as you were thinking. Okay, it's a race of stupid human against smart ChatGPT. 0. Polkadot parachains on-ramp bounty, maybe. Let's confirm this. 0. Okay. Yeah, so even in the most boring tasks, I often get sidetracked and I'm thinking of, okay, how can I automate this? And so like it's not always yielding a good result, but like very often you're learning something that is very helpful in the future, because over time you want to use more and more automation and do less and less autonomous boring tasks. I mean, this is why we have technology, is to just make stuff less boring, I guess, or less cumbersome. Okay, let's do this once. 0. BD bounty. Did the BD bounty close? Cancelled. Okay. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT is doing. Pick a working archive endpoint. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's check if another one is working. Bing. And my friend, what up? What up, ChatGPT? Looking good. Normal closure. Did I change the code in an unnatural way? Const API await promise create. No, this looks good. Okay, good. It tells me to try a few different ones, so we're gonna try all of those. If we just change the address. Oh, my mistake. No, is it my mistake? Ah, maybe it's my mistake. Okay, let's add a space. No, still no. Still no. Ah. Okay, we're getting something on. So, and what is this? This is .rpc stakeholder.io. Okay, let's give a chance to. Oh no, I don't have an on finality. I also don't think that is the case. You know, we're getting what is Helix Street. Okay, I'm gonna give ChatGPT a hint. These RPCs also don't work, and I didn't create a key with on finality. I know that Helix Street gives the data. Okay. You're gonna make it ChatGPT. I trust in you. Okay, we're advancing. Like we have more than half done. Yeah, I need to find better ways to do this, but like writing the script would be really good. Maybe at the end of this session I have a script so that in the future we can just automatically determine this on-chain. That would be fantastic. Also, I'm just gonna say it. There is a yeah, but no. Like getting it at any point in history would be a good thing. Like having a full script that gives you like the report in any point in time would actually be a good thing. I mean, there is manual work to be done, but a lot of the stuff can be automated. Zero. Yeah, I think they closed down too. Free to go. This looks like a fresh bounty to me. Nope. Okay, and the last one. And we're about to be done. Okay, checking in with ChatGPT. It's just a symptom of asking non-archive nodes for Helix Street. Okay, I know Helix Street is working because this is the node we just checked against. So now I'm curious to see if you're working. Nah. Helix Street also gives the same output, and I know for sure it is working. I was just querying it manually. Okay, so you have to come up with a different solution of free. In the meantime, we are happy because we have the data we were looking for. And now it's just formatting and making it nice. Which means, I guess it just means dividing by like this. Is it like this? Or is it 1? It's 1. Is it 1? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, it's like 1. Okay. And it's the same, and then it should look like reasonable numbers. So if we have this here, and we paste it here, and we format it as dot, it should all look reasonable. And we can know from the marketing bounty, this is not, yeah, true, it was 1 month ago. Yeah, all of this makes sense. So this is the numbers we're having. So we can, what we can do now is can build a sum of that, which is 3.5. How do we, what do we do on the balance sheet? Anyways, I'm gonna build the sum of bounties, this column. Yep. And this is what we're working with. Okay, and this changes. Okay, and this now concludes our balance sheet. So I was expecting to actually do child bounties, realized there is like data missing in the balance sheet. Completed the data, and maybe as a nice conclusion, found the culprit. Look, when you think a little bit deeper, the bounty pot address we generated is wrong. So every endpoint quite correctly returns 0 for an account that never held funds. Wow. Wow. Not sure if a human would have caught that. Okay, I think I'm gonna like try to follow ChatGPT's hunch here, and we give it a chance to actually have a write a script, because we could definitely use that in the future, and I wanna use those results if they make sense. So let's close chat here. Okay, first of all, we have some imports. So Blake and encode address, okay, we have that, and compact 2, we have that, okay, and then pallet ID and the Polkadot prefix, good. Yeah, we have that. Although you changed the name in between. Okay, and then there is a function that you call bounty address, which is this one. And the only thing we need to change is this here. Okay. Yeah, and we can bounty check it right away. I don't know. Let me just run the script and see if it works. Still 0. Okay, but I do want to actually test this. So what did you suggest? You suggested like to test it like this. But we want to what do we want? We want to test it with, let's say, we want to test it with actually it doesn't matter. Let's test it with 10. So, and 10 should yield wood. Wood, and this is 1, 2, and it's not wood. Testing with 10 should yield wood. Yields, but no. We just grab the on-chain bounty funds from the valid address. So the address your code gives not correct. Good, my friend. Come on, figure this out, because we're gonna close this session down soon. And it would be fantastic if we get this code. And then I'm gonna make lunch, And then in the afternoon, we're actually doing the child bounty categorization and pivot tables. Okay, yeah, so it's smart. It's gonna run its own Python code and compare it in a different language, and which is pretty smart. So it's basically independently validating the result. What is it? Okay, it's checking the first few bytes. That's 16 bytes. It's a really funny way to analyze, and it's incredible to see how quick it is. Like it codes, it thinks, it codes, it thinks. Incredible. No, it's not a child bounty. Okay, I'm gonna give it a hint, and I'm gonna tell it that it maybe should check out, like read more in the web. Okay, maybe this is a helpful hint for it. So it seems to be where is this? So it seems to be like looking for these derived names. So maybe if we can give it one of the derived names. Okay, it's always deriving to Treasury, but yeah, maybe it was thinking that it can just derive it like this. Would. No, target. Okay. Found hashed index. Now it's brute forcing. Okay, a few hints. This is how it shows up in Subscan. Maybe just read up more online about how bounties construct, how bounty addresses are derived. And then I'm just gonna give it a list. Here is a list of bounty IDs plus address plus balance at the block hash. Okay, the thing is, with O3, when you give it a lot of material, it tends to consider like different aspects and come up with quite smart solutions. Thought. Okay, this looks sad. I guess we're gonna give up on this now and we'll just like think. No, why can't you let me watch you think? Okay, anyways, I'm gonna end it here. If there's any changes upcoming, I will let you know. And thanks for watching. And we see each other in the afternoon. Goodbye.